these movies that seem so well thought out and wonderful are just written on the fly.
I love when they're like, "Oh, we were just winging it." Like, but you made a masterpiece.
You made a masterpiece.
One of the best action movies of the last decade. You made twice, and you were winging it.
Gentlemen, and welcome to episode 46 of Straight to Series. My name is Connor.
And I'm in.
And welcome. How are you guys?
Come on in.
Yeah, come on in. The water's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's toasty.
It is. It's toasty, baby. It's quite warm in this room, I have to say.
It's actually very warm.
Yeah,
and it's like 10 p.m. and it's still really warm.
Yeah, it's strange. And quite bright outside.
Yeah.
That's Ireland, though.
The weather's crazy right now.
Yeah, it is. It's all over the place.
Schizophrenic.
Yes, a schizophrenic
really
weather.
There's a weatherman going, I don't know,
man.
I don't know. I can't be accountable for whatever I say right now.
I can't be held accountable.
Because I'll be wrong.
Yeah, he's like, the weather will happen tomorrow.
It will happen. It will be mild.
It will.
It's always mild.
Yeah,
it's always mild.
It's mild, yeah. There's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry suspects that the weatherman is telling people it's going to be rainy so he can get a clear day on the golf course the next day. And I'm like, that's genius.
That is
if I was
genius.
a weatherman, that is fucking genius.
Gotta watch that show.
You should. It's on Now TV.
Oh.
Yeah, check it out. Anyway, today on Straight to Series podcast, we are going to be talking about the King of Staten Island.
We're going to review the King of Staten Island.
Review it. The Five Bloods as well.
The Five Bloods, Spike Lee's new Netflix movie.
Yeah, it came out on the 12th, which is yesterday, which is
outrageous
Friday.
That we have a Spike Lee movie on Netflix.
Oh, it's crazy.
Just add to the list of like those big time directors. Like we got Martin Scorsese
on
Netflix movie
I know.
last year. Spoiled.
I know, spoiled for choice.
Coen Brothers.
And those directors are spoiled as well, though. They're like, how long do you want it to be? Yeah, whatever.
How much money do you need? Well, take an extra 100 million there.
Take an extra. We're not looking to make a profit for another 10 years.
Boom, there we go.
And
Disney Plus is just breathing down their neck.
Disney Plus is like, we have more.
More money.
And then we're going to finish up with Tom Cruise in space.
Cruise control.
Cruise control, baby.
Yeah, we're going to just discuss Tom Cruise actually going to space because he's done everything else in the world.
Yeah, and before he becomes too old to do stunts, which for me, so I think
it should have been 10 years ago.
I know, but it's not.
But whatever fetus he's eating every morning.
I don't fucking know. Yeah,
I know those stem cells.
Dining on the young, basically, all the time, just taking souls.
Fountain of Youth's in his basement.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
and it's called Some Young Child.
This is so stupid, but as a reference, but you know the witches in Stardust, and they're like trying to kill after, and he's just trying to eat the heart of a fallen star. Or whatever.
I don't mock him. That's a Matthew Vaughn movie.
It's a fucking great movie. It was for my
Gay De Niro.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I saw that movie for my 12th birthday, and I was and my it wasn't even my 12th birthday, it was younger than that, and I saw it with like all my friends from school and my parents, and I was watching and I was like, this is a very violent movie, this is not what I expected at all.
And they were probably like, this is not what we expected as well.
No.
So you watch the trailer, you're like, this is so friendly.
Yeah,
this is so kid friendly.
And then you actually watch it, and I was worried after the trailer that I was like, did I pick a lame movie to bring my friends to? And then we started watching and I was like, this movie's great.
Okay, I'm strapped in, I'm ready to go.
Strapped in, ready to go, ready to rock. But yeah, that's what we'll be talking about today, and then we'll throw in some movie news at some stage, you know.
Yeah, we might just do quick fire movie news.
There'll be little tidbits in between everything we say, as we normally do it. You know how it is.
Let's get to the King of Staten Island.
Yes.
Nearly forgot the name of the movie there for a minute.
Me too. Oh, so we'll do spoiler-free reviews. Obviously,
good shout there.
Because they just came out, so don't worry about it.
We're not going to spoil anything.
We aren't, even though
except for the quality of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to spoil the quality for you.
Our opinion when it comes to the quality of the movie.
And thankfully, we boboth have good things to say about both these movies, which is nice because
it's refreshing because we reviewed Snowpiercer last week, the TV series, and we're just like, it's bad when you're just only saying bad things about something. It's not fun. It's actually not fun.
It isn't fun. And yeah, even listening back to that, I was thinking like, oh man, like the problem, like you pointed out in the last episode, but the problem with the TV series is that the movie exists, and our entire review is basically watch the movie.
Watch the movie
instead. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, you know, this is why we're not on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
I know.
Also, because we don't score it.
Yeah, true.
What would our scoring be? We should do something like awkward, like score it like out of 8 or something.
Out of 7.5.
Out of 7.5, yeah. 7.5 is the max you can get.
Out of pie.
Yeah. And we're like, it's full pie.
It's full pie. This is half pie. This is quarter pie.
Quarter pie. But even then, that adds a, like, people could understand quarter pie. That's 1 out of 4, you know?
I know. Even though I'm talking about pi is in the 3 pint.
I know,
blip,
yeah,
blip,
yeah.
blip,
3.1, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, exactly.
7.5 though.
7.5, yeah. That's
out of 7.5.
That is... Oh,
it's like I was telling you, there's a guy I know and he'd be like, what would you give that out of 5?
Yeah.
And I'd say 3. And he goes, but what would you give it out of 10? And I go,
6.
Well, double it. It's 6.
Yeah,
and he go,
yeah.
oh. Do you know how maths works?
It's so stupid.
Basic.
Just do it out of 10.
Just do it out of 10.
Out of 10 or out of 100. That makes sense to me.
I hate the A to F scale.
Oh my god.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourselves, guys.
What are you doing?
We don't all grade that way.
Yeah.
And
first of all, we're not in school.
Yeah, and it's so elitist.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Because whenever someone goes, say B minus, I'm like, but what is that?
Yeah.
Out of 5 or out of 10, what is that?
What is that? You put that on a scale for me. I shouldn't have to do work to figure out what you're scoring this movie.
And it's because I have a feeble mind, and a D was good for me in school. I was like, I didn't fail. I got 40%. I didn't fail. You know, I got a D. Woo! Or C.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just dip into the D.
Hell yeah,
but
baby.
It's over 40%. So in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, I grew up on D's, man.
Yeah.
Not double D, sadly.
Dip into the D is what I say to women I'm trying to chat up.
You're dipping into the D?
No, as in like, would you
You're dipping your D.
Do you want to dip into some D?
In their V.
in D in your V? Yeah. I've definitely used that before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's worked 100% of the time.
It's my go-to, man.
Just crushing it over here on a daily basis. You know me. Right. Speaking of people who are crushing it on a daily basis, Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. We were having this discussion of why do we kind of not like Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
Could it be that the rumors are he's got a massive penis and he only fucks really, really hot women?
Yeah, or he only fucks women, as he says, with very small hands.
Yeah.
That's what Ariana Grande, that's what he said about her, right?
Stop being so humble, man.
I know, yeah.
Makes me dislike you even more.
But that was the thing. I kind of like Pete Davidson. I've seen him in other things, and not in TV and anything, but I've watched, like, not even his comedy, but just some of the stuff he's in. I've just grown to like him about,
like SNL and all
like
that?
On SNL.
Wild and Out, he's always on.
Yeah, he's
I'm
always
like, okay.
Yeah, he's on Wild and Out, but it's even
he looks like snow on that show.
He really does. No, but even more like candid. I think it's just interviews when he's actually talking to people. I'm like, I quite like this guy. He's charismatic. But you were saying like you.
I have an unreasonable disliking for this guy, and then I really thought about it. Had. That's very important.
Yeah.
Phrasing there. I had a very unreasonable disliking for him, and I think it's just because every time I read something about him, it's about how he has a massive dick and how he's fucking Ariana Grande
or Kate Beckinsale.
Beckinsale. Like, who's next? Marissa Tomei?
Potentially. I mean, listen, he's so charming.
But it's such a stupid guy way of viewing someone.
I know. But that's how I view him. Speaking of, I'm going to type in now Pete Davidson girlfriend, see who he's dating now.
Just can't stand his sexual prowess, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised if his girlfriend's Meghan Markle or something like that.
I like how I'm intimidated through a TV screen. You know, like, that just shows how insecure I am, if anything.
He's dating Kaya Gardner.
Oh. I don't know.
You can throw up an image of her. She's fucking stunning, as always. I'm not surprised there. But yeah, anyways, the King of Staten...
Is that Kaya?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't subscribe to that now.
No.
I'm not into that beautiful, kind of symmetrical, conventionally good looking,
model,
great teeth.
Yeah, great legs.
Great legs.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Probably got an extremely great sense of humor if she's with him. Probably. That sounded like I was mocking him. I actually meant because he's really funny.
He is hilarious.
I wasn't saying like that he's like a 2 and she's a 10. You know that way? Like, it kind of sounded like that. I was like, great sense of humor. It was that's the best joke she's ever said. Is going out with him. Like,
you reverted back to your hatred of him for a second there.
Sorry.
I've just reignited it for you. You know, King of Staten Island. He's charming and likable and relatable, and then I show you who he's dating, and you turn into an asshole around him again. Like, fuck this guy. No, but the King of Staten Island, we should probably get to the actual thing. The King of Staten Island is a Judd Apatow directed, Pete Davidson penned movie.
Yeah, he's co-writer on it.
He is co-writer on it. His original draft was apparently all fart jokes, and then...
He said 90-minute fart jokes.
90-minute fart jokes, and then who's the other writer? We should probably shout him out if we're talking about the script. Dave Sirius and Judd Apatow came in and turned it around and gave it some heart. And
I think Dave might even be the co-writer with Pete Davidson when it was fart jokes as well. And then Judd came in and was like, here, let's just work this out and make this
yeah.
a real thing with some emotional beats.
But this movie is like, it's been getting like 70% is what I see on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's on 70% of Rotten Tomatoes,
which I think is actually kind of
71,
low.
71%. I think people might have a stigma when it comes to Judd Apatow at this point in his career.
Totally.
He's kind of became this substandard 2 hour plus comedy that kind of just rests in the middle, and then that middle starts to sag. You know what I mean?
Unless This Is 40. Speaking of sagging, but
hey, you leave
40-year-olds
Leslie Mann alone.
I wasn't talking about Leslie Mann. I was talking about 40-year-olds in general.
Oh, okay.
Leslie Mann's a lovely woman.
She is lovely.
Yeah, holding it up to this day.
Yeah, and her daughter
is in The King of Staten
Island.
So
Leslie Mann is married to Judd Apatow, and their daughter Maud Apatow is in this. She's 22 years of age.
She plays his sister.
I checked her age because I was like, she's a very attractive young lady.
Yeah,
who has some questionable I don't know, relationship with her brother in it, Pete Davidson.
You pointed it out, and then I agreed with it when you said it. But there are times in this movie they're playing brother and sister, and she is almost looking at him
sexual
tension for some reason.
Their eyes meet, and it lingers for a little too long. And I was like, "Are they about to? Is that this type of movie?"
Maybe. You were saying, though, as Judd Apatow...
he took his dad loss very hard.
Hell yeah.
You know, him and his sister, fuck it. But no, really, they do actually have some sexual chemistry, which was a bit odd. But she's really good in this.
She's great.
Because you know the way you go, oh, clearly we know how she got her start.
Yeah.
Her dad.
And you kind of think, it's like Sofia Coppola in The Godfather Part 3, you know?
Except this one worked out.
This one worked out, where she's, like, actually really, really good and believable.
Yeah, because straight away I was cynical about it, where I'm like, oh...
Yeah.
Okay, I know why she's in this. And then she's doing work. Like, she's really good in this.
And also, you made the good point where you're like, if I was Judd Apatow, I wouldn't put Maud anywhere near Pete Davidson with his reputation.
With his reputation?
Yeah.
His sexual reputation?
Yeah.
Like, don't let him see your... do not flash my daughter.
Yeah. How dare you? Do not...
Just, that should be a normal rule anyway.
Yeah. I mean...
But with the...
I feel like
the intensity that's coming from your jocks right now.
I feel like that doesn't just extend to the Apatow women. I feel like don't flash...
Just in general.
Don't flash in general is like a solid rule to live by.
Hey, where's Leslie?
Where's Leslie, man? Yeah, do you think Leslie... Hey,
where's Leslie, man?
Man. Do you think she was a loud visit set? Because he was probably a bit worried.
Because he's got a taste for MILF.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Or maybe his taste is satiated. Why go for more MILF when you've had Kate Beckinsale as your MILF?
Yeah, you started at the top.
Yeah. Not that Leslie Mann is going down in any way, but like...
remaining at the top.
Yeah, you're just remaining on top.
You peaked, and you're going to peak again. You're just going to stay at that peak.
Yeah. But, like, this movie is really good, and we were saying, like, the Judd Apatow has a formula, and we're not going to say that this completely changes his formula at all. In fact, there is a very clear Apatow formula throughout this whole movie, but everyone who's acting in it is like very real, and like the dialogue in it, especially, and how people are interacting with each other, is so real that they're putting movie tropes and like a solid movie base, but they're putting a realistic spin on it that I've never seen before, and it gives the movie a lot of heart. The
conversations they feel realistic. They actually feel like two people talking, not two actors reading off a script.
Yeah.
And I was saying to you, I actually find this to be the least Judd Apatow movie Judd Apatow's ever made.
Yeah.
Because I was looking through his filmography there, and like Funny People and This Is 40, they seem like the same movie to me in certain ways, where there's that massive slump, and you're like, this hasn't ended yet.
Yeah.
It's running over 2 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's going well over 2 hours long. Where I guess 40-Year-Old Virgin was his first movie, and that feels actually like the outlier.
I know.
Because that's just a basic comedy, and I think it's great. But that's just a basic comedy. And then he started to infuse emotional weight. So you got like Knocked Up, Funny People, and This Is 40. They have a specific template.
Totally.
I think the Judd Apatow template, I see Trainwreck, it kind of changes a bit, but it's still a long... Maybe it's just because Barry actor...
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader's so good in it.
He is so good.
He's so good in it.
And Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer's really good in it. And she got super fit for that as well.
Yeah, she did.
And I remember reading those interviews about how she's saying, this is not how I naturally look. Like, I'm actually putting work into to get down and look like she's not modeled in, but she's obviously a girl that finds it hard to keep weight off.
Sorry, actually, everyone in Trainwreck is doing work. John Cena's in that, and he's fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious.
He's so good.
That was our first introduction to how funny he actually can be. Except for, obviously, if you're watching WWE.
Obviously. And LeBron James is hilarious in it. And Colin Quinn is her dad.
I don't know who he is.
He's the redheaded... He's her dad in Trainwreck.
It's been so long since I watched
He's
Trainwreck.
red hair. He's like a really loud comedian as well. He's very funny, like an old comedian. Pineapple Express, I'd say.
But see, he's a producer on that.
Oh yeah.
So there's a difference where these guys. I'm talking about like Knocked Up. He directed. You know,
Knocked Up,
Funny People, and This Is 40. He wrote and directed. All three of them. Where Trainwreck, I think, does take a little bit of a detour, than his normal template. But the King of Staten Island, this is the way I think he should go on. Making movies. Like, it's so natural, and as you said, you still have that Judd Apatow flavour to it. Where you're like, it's a Judd Apatow movie. I can get it. I can kind of see the directing style being the same. But there's something about this movie that it's the first one in a long time since the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I've gone like, this is great. This is some good stuff. This is
some really good stuff, and like the movie, like it was strangely poignant for me. Like
it is. So it really is.
It really is. Like, because you're looking at it and you sort of. I was kind of connecting with Pete Davidson in a way, especially in this. He's like, this is my life if I never found comedy. That's what he says. Like, he wrote this movie as if he never found comedy and never left Staten Island. So he's 24, kind of in a rut and everything. And it's like, oh, Jesus, I'm seeing parts of myself in this, you know?
And that's where you kind of go, but in the Judd Apatow movie, everyone's like super successful, but still complaining. Wait, this guy's not. He's living in his mother's basement. He's a drug addict. He looks awful at times. You know, things are not going his way in any direction.
He's mentally fucked up.
He's mentally fucked up. He's got Crohn's.
He does, and
he's seriously struggling. Where in these other Judd Apatow movies, they're supposed to be struggling, but they're so uber successful at the same time. You're like, I don't relate to anything like this.
Anything you do.
No conversation feels like a natural conversation.
Totally.
This is completely different.
Like when you talk about This Is 40, which is like your Judd Apatow, like you're always like, This Is 40 ruined it for me. You were saying,
still washing the taste of that movie on my mouth.
You were saying about the jobs though. What are their jobs in that again? They're like,
Paul Rudd's job is he runs his own record label. First of all, that's not a normal job. Can we just talk about that for a second? Like, that's not a normal job.
That's what we did before the podcast. We were like, our record label, you know, we've done enough with that, so now we're going to try our hand at podcasting.
And it's an independent record label, but it's not an independent record label ran in some guy's basement where he's really struggling. He's got his own building, he's got his own staff. I know it's still an independent record label next to EMI or Sony.
Chris O'Dowd works for him.
But this is not a relatable job. This is like, okay, even like Chris O'Dowd works for him. That's still a really interesting and strange job that not a lot of people have, working at a record label. But though this guy runs his own record label.
I remember his office in that movie being super nice.
So nice. And he's just angry all the time. And I'm like, look at your environment.
He's like, why are we not succeeding? And he's like surrounded by success.
He's in his hot tub going, oh my God, it's just not warm enough. There's not enough bubbles.
The crux of, there's not enough bubbles.
Can we just talk about there's not enough bubbles?
I remember the emotional moment at the end of that movie where, like, you know, in like sometimes in comedies and things like that, there's some big violent accident and then all of a sudden someone comes to a realization. He crashes his bike. Isn't that it? He just like falls off his bike and he gets a little hurt and then the movie ends after that and it's like,
oh, and like his wife Leslie Mann, in it she's she owns her own fashion store,
owns and designs.
That's where you're going, all right, so she designs the dresses and she can run her own store. She has her own staff as well. I'm like, that's not relatable. So both of them have these, see, that's the problem. It's not like you can see Judd Apatow's experiences and success bleed into these scripts. And I know you should, like, I'm not going to shame the man for being successful. Like, fair play to you. But it's so unrelatable that everyone in Hollywood's like, I understand the plight of these people. You know?
Well, that's the thing. But
not the normal. The normal cinema goer is kind of going to be like, what? So what's wrong here? Is it because they're too attractive?
It's the problem is that This Is 40 is based on his real life experiences. So there has to be, in order for him to convey this, there has to be a level of success that these characters have reached that, in order for them to experience the same things as them, which is not relatable in any way.
It's not relatable. And I'm not even saying, right, excuse me, I'm not saying that rich people are happy.
No.
You know the way, like, that's not a thing. Like, you're not just going, oh, but they're rich, so they're happy. But the problem is, like, it's all about even their job. It's about their jobs a lot
Everything
of the time.
it's about the jobs and, like, them struggling to be intimate as well. Also, the movie's just not funny.
It isn't. But when you watch the whole movie, for me, I just keep thinking, if they just stopped for a second and looked around and maybe calmed down for a minute and go, wow, got a beautiful family.
Yeah.
Got a beautiful wife. She got a beautiful husband.
Yeah.
Like a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Who's not going to age.
No, never. Yeah.
You got that guarantee.
Whatever deal Paul Rudd made with the devil, like...
It's working.
It's working for him.
Whatever you're doing, don't change it.
Don't change it at all.
Don't change it. And you got a beautiful house.
Yeah.
And you got these special jobs that most people don't. You're the 1%.
Yeah.
You know the way?
Yeah.
So just chill for a second. They don't give you, like... You know the way she goes for a mammogram?
Yeah.
If she had cancer.
Yeah.
Now, there's something relatable. Even though the rich are like, yeah, well, not all the money in the world... Like, all the money in the world's not just going to cure your cancer if it's terminal. You know that way? Like, that's an interesting story.
Mm-hmm. But...
I'm just trying to fix it. I'm already trying to fix it.
You're trying to make a movie that's uninteresting interesting.
And sorry, I know that's a long way of saying Staten Island just is completely different.
It is.
He is just such a normal, relatable person. And
Everyone
the idea
is.
of Pete Davidson not finding comedy, this is how his life may have gone.
Yeah. And
his friends are not they're not the smartest people in the world, not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
They're well-meaning idiots, really, you know. And he's Pete Davidson, you know, he's loved tattoos and everything, and so he's like, if I didn't find comedy, then I'd probably try and be a tattoo artist. So he's like practicing on his friends and everything.
He's not a great tattoo artist either.
He's not,
so his passion, he's still struggling to develop his passion. So he's not like he's just, oh, well, he's a naturally gifted, that's another, in a Judd Apatow movie, usually he'd just be a naturally gifted tattoo artist.
Yeah, he's not naturally gifted. Even in the movie, they kind of address it where he's like, is that something like you actually do? Or like a character asks him, and he's like, well, actually, you know, you got to work at it, and I work at it, so, and I do like doing it, you know? And then he's
it's hard to practice tattooing people.
Totally. And that's the thing, like most tattoo artists are covered in tattoos because you practice on yourself. That's what you're supposed to do.
You're the canvas.
Yeah. But it's also a bit of background to Pete Davidson. I think we said it before, but we should probably say it in the review. His dad was actually a first responder for 9/11. During 9/11, a firefighter, and he died. His name was Steve.
It was Scott.
Sorry. His name was Scott. Scott
Davidson.
It is Scott Davidson. Yeah. And his character's name in this is Scott.
It's Scott, which is just a beautiful way.
Totally.
And it actually is dedicated to him at the end.
It's dedicated.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It's dedicated to his dad, and it's like
it's semi-autobiographical.
Yeah, and I think it's he says I've heard him talk about this, and he was like, this is a movie that I can only write now, having dealt with this thing in my real life.
Yes.
Where like this movie is kind of about the pain that is still there since losing his dad. You know, it's a lot of paternal energy and everything.
And there's a lot of like people thinking he's over it and that he's just normal again, but he's not. You know that way, like that just doesn't pass. It doesn't pass. It's just something that you learn to bear with.
And even it's not about getting normal. It's just about being able to deal with things in a way and moving on, you know, and growing a little bit. And we should say, like we talked about Pete Davidson, how great he is, but everyone is killing it in this movie. Pete Davidson and Marissa Tomei are great. The girl who plays his girlfriend, Belle Paoli, is that her name? She's amazing. Belle Paoli is his girlfriend. She's awesome, and Steve Buscemi is in it because he's a real fireman.
He was a real fighter. He was he's a real life hero.
He's a real life hero. Steve
and it's
Buscemi.
so good to see Steve Buscemi in it. And you know what? They don't even give him this I don't know, a mantle. Like he's just there.
He's just kind of there, and he shows up when he shows up, and that's it.
And his performance is like underplayed in a way, but in perfectly, you know.
Totally.
And that's why it just seems real.
He's a real dude.
But I love that, like. To me, Steve Buscemi, whenever he's in a movie, I'm like, it's Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Usually it's an Adam Sandler movie, so I'm like, what the fuck?
But that's what I'm thinking. When Steve Buscemi shows up in an Adam Sandler movie, Adam Sandler's like, we're going to make you the weirdo.
And it still doesn't taint his brand.
No.
Because everyone knows that Steve Buscemi's a cool guy, he's a real-life hero, and he's a great actor.
He is just a great actor. But I saved the best for last. I deliberately left someone off that list.
What I meant to say is, you don't give his character like a podium.
No, not at all.
It's not like, oh, Steve Buscemi just entered the room.
No.
And I know where you're going
he's
with
actually
the last.
Steve Buscemi is, you know, he's understated in this movie, but I deliberately left someone off the list of actors because there is another man in this.
Who?
Bill Burr. Billy Big Balls Burr.
Billy Big Balls.
Hey, Billy. Billy Big Balls.
I was so happy to say he's in the entire movie.
He's like
He's
the
the
supporting.
second on the call
He's
sheet.
like the second lead, basically. Maybe him and Marissa Tomei.
I don't know.
Potentially.
I think he has more screen time.
Yeah.
If you were to go by screen time, I'd say it's Pete Davidson and then Bill Burr.
And maybe character arc as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I was so glad to see Bill Burr play a 3-dimensional character and be brilliant.
Yeah.
I was going, oh, he's in more. Oh, he's in more again.
Yeah.
Because he's always that little bit character.
Yeah, totally. And you see him in different things, and it's like, hey, it's Bill Burr.
It's Bill Burr.
He's totally memorable, and you're like, oh, that was great. But now it's nice to have a performance to point to where I was like, Bill Burr, yeah, he's in that, and he's actually really, really good in it.
He's got a full character arc.
Yeah, and
I was only saying to you there earlier on that I'm so used to seeing Bill Burr just step in and out.
Yeah.
So he steps in, he's great in this bit role, and then he's gone. So you don't have time to really see where his character would go and if he's really that good at acting or is he just playing himself for a minute.
Totally.
And it's always good. I'm always wanting more.
Yeah.
And this was the real litmus test of like, what's his acting ability truly like? And it's great.
Really good.
I was so glad. I was like, please make him awesome in this. And he nailed it.
And much like everyone else in the movie, he feels like a real guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was watching this whole movie and I'm like, I know these people. Like I know people like this. I know the situation and I can relate to lots of different people. So it was.
And he wears a mustache. Well,
they slag him in the.
He's got that lip carpet, man, and it looks so good.
He plays a fireman, so obviously you got to get a mustache.
Of
you know,
course.
I like that the young guy who was in American Crime Story, or that's what it's called, the fake documentary series. Oh, he's in like the first one. The first one was
American Vandal.
American Vandal.
I haven't seen it, but I'm just trying to.
Yeah, you are. Thank you.
Decipher what you're saying.
You helped me. But he's one of the fire attendant guys, and even he's the young one who's like. I don't want to spoil a joke or whatever. But
which one is this guy?
He's the younger guy who's like
the smaller dude.
He's he's smaller and he's like basically he's
the canvas for his practicing tattoos.
Oh no! In the fire station, all the firefighters.
Yeah.
He's the young firefighter.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah,
he's in the first season of American Vandal.
He looks like he used to be the newbie.
Yeah, basically he's the newbie in the movie.
Former newbie until
former newbie. So yeah, he's in it, and even he has like a tiny little, like he's attempting to grow a mustache.
He's got a practice stash.
I know, I love that.
It's a practice stash.
It's such a fireman thing, but Bill Burr is great in this, and he's again so real and
loads of improvisation.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And we were figuring out like little moments where like that has to be Bill Burr.
Yeah.
That has to be Bill Burr.
And he has some great moments in it.
And there's a few. I know the line that's in the trailer is knock knock.
Yeah.
Who's there? Not your dad.
Yeah, that's
like that's
improvised.
in the trailer, and that was improvised on the spot by the young actor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is one of his friends.
He's actually one of his real life friends, I think.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of those guys are real life friends, and his granddad shows up at one stage.
And it's so his granddad. Yeah. I was like, is that his uncle? I didn't know if it was his granddad, but I was like, he's related. It's because of his mouth.
It's his whole mouth.
He's got that huge mouth.
Yeah, and you're like, that's Pete Davidson's real granddad. And then when he's like, I actually think he's funny, when his granddad has such a New York accent as well. Yeah,
and his mother's in it.
His mother is in it.
And she looks right down the barrel of the camera, which I love.
Yeah, it's so funny. But
it's a cameo though. She doesn't like his actual granddad has a speaking role in it. And I don't know if you've seen. I think it was Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson was talking about how his granddad, since he got like a voice role, he got paid for it.
Yeah.
But he had to wait 3 months. So his granddad kept ringing.
When am I getting paid?
And going like, I know you're an actor and you're in it and all like that, and I'm your granddad, but like, job's a job. That's what he keeps saying. A job's a job.
Job's a job.
I should get paid for it. Because Pete Davidson's saying like it takes around 3 months before you actually get paid.
Yeah.
In the acting industry. I just love his granddad ringing like, well, I don't want to complain, but a job's a job. And I think we were saying like he was gloating, his granddad was gloating, saying, you've made it when they got lamb chops on set and stuff like that. I'm like, I can just hear that. That's like a real thing. When I used to be in a band, we went on a tour with this band that was way bigger than us. Mm-hmm. So we had a rider. And riders like all the food that they leave, and my dad was just so impressed by this. He ate so many sandwiches, so many. He wasn't even hungry. He was like, they're free, so they need to be eaten.
Gotta eat those
And
sandwiches.
it just reminds me of that when the granddad's saying like, "Oh, they got lamb chops," on set.
Yeah.
It's like my dad's like, "Oh my god, there's free food."
Yeah.
He was drinking Heineken all the time. Like he was just like, they're free. And he'd be taking shit back to the hotel room. Like he'd be taking to be a 6-pack of Lucasade. He's like,
"Oh
no,
shit,
no, I want that." Well, we're taking it.
Yeah, of course
we're taking it. And he's so funny. Like he was just like, free shit. Free shit. I have to eat it. And every time we play a gig and we come back into the dressing room, and he'd be just sitting there bloated, like looking at the sandwiches because there's still more left, you know. And he's like,
they
I'll
have to
have
be,
you.
they
I'll
have to
have
be
you.
finished. I'll have you next. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, it's nice to see a movie like this because there's a lot of heart in it, you know, and
Tremendous amount.
And you know, we were saying it goes through a formula, like there is a like kind of a comedy formula in this, like of movies you've seen that are similar, and
I didn't find it that humorous, even though I know it's funny.
Yeah.
But it's not laugh out loud funny every minute. Do you
No.
get that? Like, there's not many big laughs. It's so dramatic.
yeah, it's really dramatic. But actually, I have a smile on my face like the whole time.
And Pete Davidson, I have to say, he's an absolute delight. Like, he
Yeah.
just proved to me that he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Like, a great dramatic actor.
He's really good, and he's actually complained about SNL before. They're like they treat me kind of one note. They always give me the same role, and when I pitch ideas for sketches, no one really listens to me.
He's just a stoner guy.
yeah, and
with the tattoos.
And now, after I see this, I'm like, oh, the guy clearly has range.
Yeah, there's
you know,
levels to his acting
to his
ability.
acting. But yeah, I mean, everyone in this is amazing, and I was so happy I watched it because I was
too.
especially after last week. I'm like, oh man, it's so nice because. Spoilers. Did we even say I really liked the movie? Yeah, we said we liked it. Yeah, okay. But like, I like both of the two movies we watched,
Yeah.
so it's nice to have positive stuff to talk about as well.
Now, I want to just throw in something negative
Oh,
because
yeah.
we're like just riding this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
It does kind of slump a bit.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes long because it's a Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah.
So he has to be a little too long. Like all
Yeah.
his comedies, except for the 40-Year-Old Virgin, is a little too long.
Yeah.
And I just think he's very generous to himself, where
Yeah.
he's like, you know what? I know some people might look at that as a little bit of fat that needs to be cut off, but I like the characterization, or I like the character development in this little scene here or there. So he kind of allows himself a bit of fat.
There's one scene in it that I actually noticed.
These movies have a dad bod.
His movies do have a dad bod. There you
Oh
go.
my God.
Wow, we got it. They're lovable, but you know, it's still a flaw.
Yeah, it's still a flaw. Yeah, Leslie Mann's okay with it, but not every woman's okay
That's
with
the
it.
best way of putting a dad bod now. It's lovable, but it's flawed.
It's still a dad bod.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is the least dad bod, I would say. Like, even though it's 2 hours and 15 minutes long, it's almost warranted, but it's
Yeah.
not. It does slightly slump where you're going, oh, are we
Meandering.
meandering for a little bit there.
Mirandaing is when you get fucked by a girl called Miranda.
Miranda, yeah. Oh, that's happened to me, boy.
Yeah?
No,
Oh.
never. No.
I don't know anyone called Miranda.
I've never met a Miranda.
Neither have I.
Do they exist?
Don't know. I remember the... Never mind.
Have you seen one out in the wild?
No, never.
No, on TV I have.
I have. I've had sex with Miranda in a video game.
Okay, I'm in.
Mass Effect 2.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, she's...
I'm not a gamer,
She's
but
played by she's her voice. She does the voice for her, and she did the mocap and everything for her. It's what's her name? She's in Chuck. Did you watch Chuck?
No.
She's a love interest in Chuck, and she's in Handmaiden's Tale.
Elizabeth Moss?
No, it's not Elizabeth Moss. It's not. It's she's Australian in real life. She's so good looking.
Oh, I don't like Australians.
I'm gonna have to look at her. You don't.
I'm really messing with it.
You love
Hey, Chris Hemsworth.
I was gonna say you love the Hemsworth. How dare
Oh my
you?
god, that's a tree I want to climb.
Yeah, I want to climb any Hemsworth except Luke. Sorry, Luke.
Hemsworth Light? You mean Thor Light?
Thor Light, yeah, Thor on stage.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like if you went to like
Poor guy.
Yeah, one of those.
Clearly the mother was like playing
I know.
Away From Home or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened there.
You know, you go see like Marvel on Broadway or something. It's like the guy who would play him there. You know,
Hemsworth. That's
Yeah,
all they have
that's
on
all
the
they
poster.
have on it. Yeah,
Hemsworth.
with Hemsworth.
It's like that executive producer.
Yeah,
You know, of the Matrix or whatever like that.
from the
Like that-
producers who brought you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Especially when it's the executive producers who brought you.
Yeah.
You're like, come on.
Oh,
Christopher Nolan's got his name on Justice League.
yes, he does.
He's an executive producer, so you could technically go Tenet from the executive producer of Justice League.
Justice League.
Why don't you just use that, guys?
Oh yeah,
Warner
do it.
Brothers, use that.
This would sell more tickets to Tenet, right? Tenet from the executive producer of the Snyder Cut, because he's technically a executive producer
Well,
on
he has
that.
to be. He has to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? He has to be.
Yeah,
But no, I want Justice League. I just want that Justice League brand on it.
Yvonne Strahovski is the mocap for.
Never heard of her.
Miranda. Google,
Not a real person.
Look her up. Oh, she's a real person. All right. Her character in the game. This is so sidetracked, but whatever. We always get
Yvonne
sidetracked.
Hughes?
Yvonne Yvonne.
Why?
Vonne. Yeah, there you go. Number 3. That's her.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's in. She's in.
Chuck. and Handmaid's Tale. I told you.
She's in something else that I've seen.
Really? Those are two like famous.
No, because I haven't seen both of them, and I've seen her many times before. Dexter. She's Rita in Dexter.
Is she?
She's Rita in Dexter. Yeah,
Wow.
she's his love interest in
Really?
the first few seasons. Oh yeah, she's delightful.
Yeah.
There's an episode where she dresses up as Laura Croft, and you're just rubbing the knees, and you're fixing the belt, and you're rubbing the knees again.
You should really watch Chuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I enjoy it then.
Yeah, you should watch Chuck.
Yeah, I'm a fan of hers. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that you're like I love that you were shitting on her like I don't like Australians and everything. And then I'm
Yeah,
look, trust me. But yeah, in a video game she did like the mocap for her and the voice and everything, and the character is literally she's like I'm genetically modified to be the perfect woman, and it's like I believe it.
Okay,
I believe it. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
in Mass Effect you can just bang people in it, and I'm like.
Cool, man.
First time I played it, I was like, "Why
Sold.
wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I bang her in this game? It's the only way it's gonna happen." So
might as well.
yeah. So anyway, the King of Staten Island is great.
And before we move on, I want to say this is perfect for VOD.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this would really struggle in the cinema.
Me too.
And I'm saying it as a fan of the movie, but
Totally.
I really think it would get lost if like the Budweiser virus.
Yeah.
We're just we try not to be demonetized here.
Yeah.
If the Budweiser virus didn't happen,
Totally.
and all these other big movies were coming out around summertime,
Yeah.
I think this would struggle so much. This would be Struggle City.
Totally. But
And it was supposed to have a small release, like a real small independent release.
yeah.
And yeah, they obviously
I
couldn't do that.
feel like at a few independent film festivals, this would win a couple of awards. Definitely, like snatch up a few. You know.
And it was supposed to debut.
Yeah.
I forget where it was supposed to debut. Tribeca Film Festival.
Tribeca, there you
no,
go.
sorry, the worldwide premiere was supposed to be at South by Southwest.
It would lap something up there. It's
I
like
think it'd
best really well.
Also, Pete Davidson would just be in his perfect
Elements.
environment. He should do a stand-up
Yeah.
show while he was there. Because don't they do stand-up?
They do. South by Southwest is everything. I'd love
Yeah.
to go there. It's meant to be really cool. Austin, Texas is meant to be just a great place to visit.
Also, after watching this movie, I want to go and watch his Netflix special.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
Netflix comedy special. Now, I watched clips of it, and I didn't love it.
I have watched it. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I it's not great. I couldn't tell. I'd have to watch it again. I actually don't really remember it that well, you know. But
Well,
it's-
Bill Burr's.
Bill Burr is
Paper Tiger.
I watched Paper Tiger again recently. Paper Tiger, it just holds up. Every Bill Burr special holds up though. Like sometimes you just watch clips of it and then you're like, I'm gonna watch the full thing.
Yeah,
Fuck
guess
it.
I gotta watch the
Guess
whole
I
thing
watched
now.
The whole thing. But yeah, thanks to the Miller Lite virus, it's released on VOD, and that's definitely the way to watch this movie.
Yeah,
and,
it really is.
And I actually think 71% is low for it. I will say.
I
on
do
Rotten
think
Tomatoes.
so. I do think so. Even though, like, I wouldn't give it like a 10 out of 10. But
No, God
still,
no. It's up there.
Yeah, I hope Judd Apatow makes something else that feels as personal as this one does.
Me
I know
too.
not personal to him, but personal to Pete Davidson.
I think if you can find, I'm about to sneeze. There's a load of Hennessy virus down my shirt and
tequila
everything,
virus.
tequila virus. But I think if he can find directors and he tells personal stories, but like
Oh, there it is again.
more.
That's a wet chest.
That is a wet chest, right? It was already a wet chest. Now it's covered in Jaeger bomb virus and everything. But
Not Jaeger virus, but Jaeger bomb
Jaeger
virus.
bomb virus specifically. But yeah, if you can find like people who can interject their own style into one of his formulas, I think it'd be really successful. Like
Yeah.
Trainwreck, you know?
Yeah, I'm so afraid now his next movie is just going to be, here's another Paul Rudd super successful movie. This man's a struggling lawyer. But like he owns the, what you call it, the firm, you know?
Yeah. He's a struggling CEO.
Hey man, he looks like he's got everything, but guess what? He doesn't have happiness.
Yeah, he has erectile dysfunction. Sometimes his dick doesn't work, and his wife is unsatisfied.
And his suits weren't pressed properly. You know? Anyway, we should move on.
Paul Rudd's too busy banging Aisling B in that TV show that they're in.
And making Ant-Man movies.
Making Ant-Man movies. Ugh. Just having a great 50s.
I know. Peaking at 50, man. That's the dream.
Oh,
That's the dream.
Anyway, we should move on, as you said, to
Da Five Bloods.
Da Five Bloods. I feel like an idiot whenever I pronounce it.
I know.
Da Five Bloods.
You're not cool enough.
I am
You're actually
cool
not cool enough. Me either.
I'm going to spoil a bit. In the opening, they have like photographs and everything. And at one stage, instead of it says "the club" in the thing, like on the little bottom of the pictures.
T-H-E?
Yeah, DA.
Oh, okay.
Instead of it says DA, and I'm like, that's cool. I like that.
I know.
I like that little touch of throwing in the
Yeah.
like being consistent with it.
The
you know?
club.
Yeah, the club.
So we actually got a Spike Lee Netflix movie. I know Netflix has been actually trashed this year when it comes to
Hasn't been
original
great.
movies.
Yeah.
And this is the moment.
Yeah.
With this whole pandemic, this is where they need to shine and be like, boom, 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 make it rain original movies.
Yeah.
While the cinemas are all closed.
I know.
And they've been struggling.
Yeah.
And I think I've watched like 3 or 4 Netflix original movies this year, and there's been loads.
Extraction
Was really good.
Yeah.
That was a fun action movie.
Yeah.
And it was different. And Sam Hargrave.
Yeah.
Oh, recently he's working as a second unit director on The Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, that's gonna be a good fight scene.
Out of the park. There it goes. There it goes.
And it's gone.
And it's gone.
Hopefully he gets to do like a Darksaber fight scene.
And that's our review of The Five Bloods.
Yeah,
and
that's our
right
Five Bloods review. We're moving on.
I think Netflix has been trash lately. It really has. It's just because all eyes have been on the streaming services. Also, Disney Plus dropped the ball.
Yeah, they really did.
The Mouse House. What are you doing?
What are you guys doing? Like Artemis Fowl? That's what you're putting out now.
we haven't even watched that, but 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
As an Irish person who read that book when they were a young adult, when you were supposed to read a young adult novel, very disappointed by that movie.
And there's some big names attached to it. But anyway, back to The Five Bloods.
Back to Da Five Bloods.
I was so happy to see a Spike Lee movie coming out.
Yeah, me too.
As I said, we got a Martin Scorsese movie last year, and we also got a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
I love that all these big staple directors are coming on board.
It's because all the fucking mullahs on the streaming
It's
service.
so much money. Like they're just like, how much do you need?
Yeah.
Take it all.
Yeah. Do you want to take some artistic liberties? Come to Netflix.
Yeah.
We'll let you do whatever you want.
Runtime, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Just make whatever movie you want, and you just got to let us put it out exclusively on our platform.
Yeah.
That's it.
And this was supposed to have a limited run.
Yeah.
In the cinemas.
So it can get the Oscars.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there is an Oscar lock performance in this movie. 100%.
I want to get his name.
At least a nomination, and we should get his name. The Five Bloods is full of. I'm just gonna call it Five Bloods from now on because I just hate saying it for some reason. But his name Delroy Lindo as Paul.
Holy shit!
He blew
this man's
me
like
away.
67.
They're all in their 60s and they're
He's
amazing.
67.
He's 67.
It's just stupidly good. It's so out of this world good. But he gets an actor's wet dream of material.
You know what? I was watching this and I was like, when anyone reads the script for this, the actor's like, oh, I hope I'm cast as I want that role, you know? But yeah, everyone kills it in this movie, I will say. There's no bad performance.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of unknowns, which again I love. I love like seeing movies of unknown actors and everything.
No, some of them are big players though.
Well, yeah.
You just haven't seen The Wire.
Oh,
you just haven't seen The Wire, okay?
Sorry, I haven't seen The Wire. I haven't seen Isaiah Whitlock Jr. He's Melvin.
Oh, he's
in
Melvin.
the movie.
That guy is awesome.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's the guy from The Wire, though. You were telling me the mayor. I know it's him for a fact because I saw him earlier.
Yeah, he's the shit.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
I actually love that guy. And now I love how that, like, The Wire has transcended pop culture. Where, like, he's that character in little snippets of every movie he does now. And the minute he drops his shit, I'm like, oh.
But you know Spike Lee loved that as well.
Of course.
He's a pop culture fiend, that guy.
Yeah. And a cool cat.
Yeah,
he looks
cool.
like Prince.
He does look like Prince, yeah.
He's always in purple.
Yeah, I know. He's so colorful. And in this movie, especially, like, his eye for color and everything is so good. More so than in Black Klansman, which I would say is quite a muted palette for...
It is, even though that could be my favourite Spike Lee movie I've ever watched.
I'd say so.
But I've got a limited amount of knowledge when it comes to that director.
Yeah, me too.
I've watched, I think, 5 of his movies, and Old Boy is one of them.
Yeah, that's disappointing for you.
Yeah.
And for everyone involved in the remake of Old Boy.
Where you recently went and watched Do the Right Thing.
I did.
I need to watch that because that's supposed to be like his go-to movie.
That's the Spike Lee movie normally.
Yeah, like his formative movie where he made a real impact.
Totally. And
artistically.
And it was nice going from that to this movie because there's definitely elements of Do the Right Thing in it, but especially in the color palette and the directing style and everything. Like, it's weird to say that his directing style is similar in one of his old movies and it's not consistent throughout all of them. He has his like niche moments, like put someone on a treadmill or something, you know. But like definitely moving from that movie to this movie, you can see a clear like pattern of directing style. He's definitely better.
But he really has a unique voice when it comes to directing. Like he's got, it's almost like an old school way. There's just certain angles where, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But when I watch it, I go, I don't see that in every movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And I appreciate that.
There's a certain angle, I go, I haven't seen that. And
whether it's good or not, from a directing standpoint, I couldn't fucking tell you.
I couldn't tell you.
I like it.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And one thing that they do is will we describe what it's about? I'm not
we'll give the synopsis of it.
Yeah, but it's these vets from Vietnam.
Yeah.
These guys who fought in Vietnam. It was four living.
Basically they are a battalion of 5 African American soldiers who fought in Vietnam, and they come back.
They lost a friend.
4 of them come back to rescue.
But this is all in the trailer, by the way, so I'm not like saying at the end of the movie they lose a friend.
Also, if you haven't watched the trailer, don't watch it and just watch the movie.
Yeah,
because neither of us saw the trailer, and we probably benefited from it. We just read the synopsis.
Yeah,
but they lost their squad leader, and also they come back to Vietnam to recover his body and bury treasure.
Which it sounds lamer than it is.
Yeah.
But it's like it's US gold.
Yeah.
So that's like the general synopsis of the movie.
Yeah.
And it actually seems kind of very Hollywood.
Yeah.
But it's so not.
Yeah, it's weird. And you know, we should be serious for a moment. Like we were worried about watching this movie because there was almost a pressure to like it from us, you know, like
I know
with this is a movie of the moment, and like
it's almost too relevant. It's so right now.
It's so relevant for right now in the world, and like one of my criticisms of the movie is because it's so relevant now, it really dates it, which may make it age worse. But then again, you know, it could be a timepiece or whatever. But anyway, this movie, when you think about it, is really relevant to what's happening now. But then when you watch it, you realize, oh my God, it's even more relevant than I thought.
Yeah.
But we were kind of worried, especially as like people who are going to be reviewing this for people and putting it out in the world. We were kind of worried that it's like, I feel like I'm going to like this, but I don't want to, you know, get this wrong. You know what I mean?
Well, it just, even though it's not true, it just seems right now that the pressure is whether you like it or dislike it. Says something about your character.
Yeah.
And I don't like that pressure.
No, me neither.
Because I would never watch a movie in that way. I would never watch that movie and be thinking of politics.
Yeah.
You know, like even if it's like something that you agree with or disagree with, I'm watching the movie.
Unless the movie is talking about politics in the movie, and then in which case, you're just trying to appreciate the art of it. Yeah. And then
it's so culturally relevant, though it's almost scary.
Look at our body language right now. We're just tense,
popping and locking.
We're really choosing. Look, we're just saying that, you know. We were hesitant going into this movie because there was almost a pressure to like it.
Yeah.
Not when we didn't go in thinking we wouldn't like it. It was just there was this unspoken pressure we felt as people in a public forum that if we didn't like it, it may speak to something that is untrue, or people may make assumptions that are.
But then also
untrue.
Because this is so relevant right now, liking it might seem disingenuous.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is so weird as well. Yeah. It's like a lose situation.
Exactly. And that was kind of how we felt for a while. And then there's one shot in it, and it's one of my favorite things. And after, like, when you're watching this movie, you're going to know exactly what we're talking about. But it was just so fun and so good that it just broke me out of whatever I was thinking in my head, and I was just along for the ride for the rest of it. What?
Moment you're talking about?
No. This is This is in the beginning. Towards the beginning, we were talking about this. Yeah.
No, that's excellent.
I know what you're talking about. It's so fun and so good that it just broke me out of whatever worry I was in. And I was like, I'm on board now. Thank God.
You actually made a really good point, and I want to just repeat it so you don't forget it. Really,
absolutely.
But I'll give you props for it. Mm-hmm. Spike Lee makes these really culturally relevant movies, and they're very racially charged.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he never ignores the fact that people still need to be entertained.
Yeah.
So he'll package that. He'll put that in a really entertaining package.
Totally.
And that's what I love. Like the Black Klansman.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, like I understand you're getting political here and there, but at the same time you understand that there's an audience that wants to be entertained.
Yeah.
As well as educated.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does it in this film just as he did in Black Klansman.
Totally. Like.
And that was your point. I don't want to take props for that.
I had forgotten about that. I had forgotten how smart I was, but thank you for reminding me.
No problem. Now I take it all back.
No, but that is really good. And like when you do hear the plot, it's funny because
you go, oh, it's that kind of movie.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this movie is so typical. It's like this should star Martin Freeman, or not Martin Freeman. It should star Morgan Freeman and like 4 other white actors or something like this.
Michael Caine, Las Vegas. You're saying Las Vegas.
It's just leaving Las Vegas, but with Vietnamese soldiers and everything. And then you hear that was the original vision potentially for this.
This was a predominantly white movie, but it had nothing to do with the black GI.
Yeah,
because that's what the whole thing is about. Like it's all about the black experience during the Vietnamese War, and then them being vets later on in life.
And to a lesser extent, the black experience now today.
Yeah,
or African
African American. Well, it's just that you say black GI in it, so it's just quoting the movie, you know, that way.
That is, they do say that in the movie, but so it is quite typical, and you know, I love the movie. But like, there's still problems with it. Like, there was a certain point in it where I was kind of like, I was kind of disappointed with how the movie turned out. Not because it got worse as a movie or anything like that. It's just it wasn't what I was thinking.
It gets slightly Hollywood for a bit.
Yeah, it turns into a movie at a certain point, you know, and I was kind of enjoying these real people that I knew, and I was almost like getting to know these guys, and I felt like I knew them and everything, and then all of a sudden they actually become characters in a movie, you know, and I kind of lost something there, but that doesn't mean the movie takes a bad turn. Like, the movie's great.
It just it becomes more entertaining than anything else, and it's so good. It's slightly, at one point the depth is taken away a bit, you know, because it's got so much depth, and then for a minute they kind of just relinquish that and go, hey, we're going to entertain you for a while.
Yeah.
But overall, I actually really love this movie. Do you know what I find fantastic and so enjoyable? It's just seeing older actors pop.
Me too.
Because, you know, if you watch Las Vegas, and there's another movie going in style. I haven't seen it, but that's a Michael Caine movie. Is Morgan Freeman in that one as well?
Yeah, I think so. And
it's just the old guys getting Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin.
It's that ragtag bunch of old fellas, you know, getting together.
We're all old bank robbers, and we're gonna do one last score to save an orphanage or something, you know. And it's like,
but the problem is, even if I've only seen the trailer for that, Zach Braff directed that movie.
Yes, he did.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But anyway, when you watch the trailer, you're like, it looks like these guys are just phoning it in, and they got a paycheck. And the same with Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You kind of going, oh, this could be fun, but it just doesn't. No one's really truly popping. Like, it doesn't look like anyone's doing any heavy lifting. And you watch this, and these guys just embrace the moment, and it's so fun to watch. It's
so fun to watch,
especially since the majority of them are in their 60s,
and they're unknown.
And you're like, holy shit!
To an extent, they're unknown. I feel like I'm dissing their careers. I'm sure they're. You know, they're not all, but like, to me anyway, most of them were unknown. Like, I didn't recognize them. Chadwick Boseman is probably the biggest name in this movie.
Clearly, he's Black Panther.
Yeah, he's Black Panther. And by the way, he is playing Stormin Norman, which is his character's name. They say it so many times.
Their fallen friend.
Their fallen friend, and he is like, he already has like Black Panther. But talk about another like iconic African American role for him.
Could you leave some for some other African American?
Like, he has like Black Panther, which is already such a badass, and then he just gets Stormin Norman as well, and he's another just amazing role, and like a role model as well.
Do you know, I actually really appreciated how they marketed this movie, and he didn't have his name plastered all over it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because he's not the main player. It's the 4 older guys, the 4 older vets that are going for the treasure,
and the son.
And the son. The son, he's awesome.
He's awesome.
That's Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. He pops.
And I've never seen him before in anything.
No.
And he's ripped.
He's so ripped.
He's so jacked, because he looks like a normal guy. His face, he's just not. He doesn't look like. I'm not even trying to diss the guy. He just doesn't look like a hill figure model.
No.
And then you see his arms and all. You're like, okay.
He's huge. He's a teacher as well. So he's a good guy, and
all he does is teach children and work out. What a good guy.
He's like such a good guy. And then there's other, like, they have, I won't be able to pronounce the actor's name, but he plays the really bad racist, Jasper Pakonen. Oh, gee, that's definitely not how you pronounce it, but he's the really racist guy in Black Klansman, and he's in this as well. He's a nice role for him.
He has a really nice role.
Paul Walter Hauser as well is in this. He's
his father friend.
Is his friend, and
he's Black Klansman.
In Black Klansman,
also uber racist.
Uber racist. He gets to play a nice role in this, and then Melanie Thierry is a French actress in this. She pops as well.
She pops in many ways.
She does. She's awesome. But everyone pops in this. Like, the 5 major guys are Eddie, Otis, David, Paul, and the son is
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan. No, but what's the character's name?
Oh, David.
David. So it's David. Paul, David, Otis, Eddie, Melvin, and then who's the other one?
No, that's it.
No, that's it.
That's the 5.
That's 5. Yeah, that's the 5. Yeah,
The 4 vets and the son.
and the son. They're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but what? Sorry, I just want to make the point that Chadwick Boseman is. He's the smaller character in it, and I hate when movies do this where they just take the name. Have you ever seen The Next 3 Days? Is that what it's called? Or 3 Days Later or something like that? Oh, it's this awful movie with Russell Crowe in it. And Liam Neeson is in the movie for like 3 minutes, and his name was everywhere on it. And Chadwick Boseman is not in this for 3 minutes. He's in it for a lot more than that, and he has a real pivotal role in it. But at the same time, it wasn't like the Chad Boseman acting vehicle, that way, the starring vehicle for Chadwick Boseman, and I actually appreciated that.
Godzilla.
Because he's
Godzilla, all Bryan Cranston,
everywhere, everywhere, and I that can be a bit disingenuous.
Yeah, sorry I interrupted you.
No, but it's pretty much like what they did with Godzilla as well. It's like Bryan Cranston looks like he's the second lead in the movie,
totally,
and then he's gone.
Yeah, whereas
very early on in the movie,
in this, like at no point do you think Chadwick Boseman is
the main guy, and he's Black Panther.
Yeah.
And Black Panther just made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And then he was in the Endgame, and he was in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Both made $1 billion. So he's a humongous name right now.
Yeah.
And I like how they didn't abuse that name.
No.
It's kind of cool.
It's nice.
It's like it's respect. I think they're just respecting the other actors who are doing the most
work.
The most work of the movie.
Yeah. I want to look. Is there any? Everyone. We were saying everyone pops in this. They have a guide called Vin. And he's played by Johnny Tree Nguyen, or what, I've never heard of this actor before, but he's just their guide, and he pops. For some reason, everyone in this movie is just popping.
Which makes me think that Spike Lee is an actor's director.
Yeah.
When I watch that, I kind of go, everyone seems to be doing work here, and that seems great.
Everyone seems to like him. Whenever people see Spike Lee, they always go up to him or are talking to him and everything. And
check out his Instagram, and they're all dancing, like Spike Lee's dancing with the other lads, the vets in the club, and it's so fun.
Yeah, the only one I think is giving a bad performance is Jean Reno. I think he's sleeping through a lot of his lines.
And Leon, for anyone
the
who
professional,
doesn't know who he is.
Jean Reno or Jean Reno.
Jean Reno.
Yeah, he's in Mission Impossible 1. He's the guy holding the wire and that and everything. But I don't like his performance. Now, he is 70. He is
70, because I was going, Jesus, he looks rough. Sometimes you just think that actors are in a time capsule.
Yeah.
The way you see them, when you go, oh my God, that person looks like a real person all of a sudden. What the hell?
Yeah.
The state of them.
That was the case here.
And then I see him that he's 70, and I'm like, okay, he looks great for 70, but he's not great in the movie.
He's not great in the movie, I don't think.
He looks half asleep.
Totally. And the movie has some writing problems in terms of, I think, in getting characters to the point they need them in the movie. I think there could have been smoother transitions there. Whereas
it's when it just turns up to Hollywood for a second, and it's a bit stunning for me. You're like, wait, what we do? It's jarring. It's a bit jarring.
Kind of jarring. It's like, we were seeing real people, quick bit of Hollywood, and now we're back to real people. But even like characters' motivations change at some points as well, where you think a character is one way, and it's not that they change or that the movie is saying they actually have depth. It's actually the writing of the movie puts them in one position to get them to a point so that they can then be in a different position throughout the rest of the movie. Trying to say this without spoiling
I know.
Yeah.
It is difficult.
Yeah, but I still really enjoyed it. Really loved it.
I want to say artistically, the direction, like some of the moves that Spike Lee made, like and this isn't a spoiler, so all the backstory, the Vietnam War, the actual war, it's shot in a different aspect ratio.
Yeah.
And it's all grainy, like it's real film, and like film from that time as well. Was it 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah,
late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, so it actually looks like it's made on actual film. Like, I'm sure it's probably just software.
Yeah.
Because it'd be so expensive to shoot it on film. But either way, I love when there's bold moves like that. So it's a different aspect ratio, and it's real grainy. And then there's a monologue as well in it that I think is gonna be gifted. It's gonna be made a gift for fucking everything. Like
there's actors everywhere who are like, I've just discovered my next big monologue.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be using that in auditions. And people are going to be butchering it in auditions as well.
Big time.
That's what I was thinking. I was looking at when this monologue was happening. I was like, "This is amazing," and I know a load of actors are going to go in and think like, "I'm going to destroy this and just get it completely wrong."
Yeah.
And
can I say about my cynical side when it comes to Netflix?
And this is a very good point that I made. a very good point you made that I actually, when you said it, I was like, that's 100% true.
Yeah. So we all know that the world is, especially America, is on fire right now.
Yeah.
And the cynical side of me is thinking that there's someone in Netflix that's kind of licking their lips going, this is the perfect moment to release this movie. Because it's uber relevant. Like it's this release date was confirmed months and months ago.
I was about to say, it was locked in. Like, it wasn't like they moved it up or anything. This was locked in for ages.
And it just so happens that this movie is so racially charged that I kind of feel like there's some executives in Netflix that are like, this is too perfect. Yeah. This time is too perfect. Like, we're just going to get so much viewership because of this, because of this atrocity that happened in America. You know what I mean? I'm not celebrating that fact, but like, and I'm uncomfortable even talking about it. I know, yeah. But you know that the film industry is all about money. Yeah, totally. It's all about money, and money talks.
Yeah, and I know. It's they're like, we're gonna get a lot of eyeballs for this. Like, we were already going to for a Spike Lee movie, but like,
it's a great movie to watch, and it's actually quite educational
as
well.
It's a great movie to watch.
African American experience in the Vietnamese War.
Yeah, we're only saying as well, like, that they were, because like this is the perfect time to put this movie out, because this movie is so educational and so poignant and so relevant to modern times, you know. And like, that's what I said, like, a criticism of the movie would be, it is of the time, like, of right now, this movie, and it's dated for that reason. But Spike Lee goes out.
Maybe that's what makes it special as well, you know? And it's a bold move to make.
Exactly. And Spike Lee goes out and he's like, you know, he does this in Do the Right Thing as well, where he's like, I could do the broad strokes and show you themes of what the world around us is like. No, I'm just going to acknowledge you. These people live in the world right now.
I'm going to get specific about
get specific about this. And we're going to talk about some real world politics in this movie. And yeah, maybe it dates it, but you know what? That's what this fucking movie is. It's a stamp in time, you know? And it's a charm to it. And I will say, it, like, these movies have a lot in common. Like, when we were talking about it, The King of Staten Island and Da 5 Bloods, they have a formula that is familiar, but it's full of such good acting and people who are bringing a new element to an old formula.
Embracing the material and actually adding to the material.
Like, especially in terms of dialogue and, you know, character interaction. You know, in this movie, these guys, they feel normal guys, even when, like, movie things are happening around them. They're kind of normal. And it's not the way a movie with the same plot would be shot if it had a completely different cast or from a different director, you know?
And it's crazy to think that Oliver Stone was going to direct like a white kind of version of this movie that was totally the opposite of what this movie is in many ways.
But when you watch this movie, you're like, I know exactly what that movie would be. Like, you can,
I know.
You feel it. You're like, I know exactly what that movie would be, and I'm so glad it's not that.
Yeah.
And it's the same with The King of Staten Island. You know, it's got a set playbook. It's the Judd Apatow playbook. But you know what? It's so charming, so unique, and so real. In terms of the dialogue and character interactions and everything, that you're like, this elevates it above what it is.
Yeah,
really.
Literally every element, everyone who worked on these movies are so present.
Yeah.
You know that way at the time, no one's phoning it in.
No.
Actors and crew. And that's the most serious review you'll ever hear from us.
Yeah. So, you know, we got lucky this week. Yeah, we ended up with two good movies we liked.
We're on a roll now.
We're on a roll.
Let's keep it going.
I'm watching.
Artemis Fowl.
I was gonna say I'm watching that later. So
I love the Fell's in the name. You can just imagine all the puns that are gonna come out.
Yeah, I know.
Artemis is so fell.
Artemis failed himself at the box office.
Oh, I actually, you know what? Last week we were going to talk about Space Force and we didn't, and I actually wrote down some puns.
Nice.
And it just reminded me where I was just like, you know, the person that's writing the headlines would so use these type of puns.
Yeah.
So Space Force fails to launch.
Nice.
So easy. So easy. I don't care. I don't care. I'm saying it. Lift off is a no-go for Space Force.
Yeah.
So easy. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
So easy. And then Space Forced.
Yeah, I like it.
Because all the comedy is forced.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking to get meta with a space second. It's not first.
Yeah, I like it. This is great.
Anyway.
I just thought of
I just wanted to lighten things up for a second. We got past that review, man.
Space Force attempts to shoot the moon but misses entirely.
Oh, I like it.
There's another one. That's one you see, like, as you're scrolling through Facebook. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for. But yours are
They're so
yours
simple.
are snappy.
They're so easy.
Space Force, throw it on a title. Put it out now.
Yeah.
Where's the newsboy?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so we got very lucky this week with the two movies, and we highly recommend Da 5 Bloods. Five Bloods is on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It's there for the taking.
All of you have it. Even those who don't have it, you have Netflix. Like
you know someone who has it.
You know someone who has it. You're
dating someone that has it, or your friend has it. Go over to their house and watch it. You know the
password to your neighbor's Netflix. Like just you'll find a way to watch it. So everyone should check that out and watch it. And then everyone should watch the King of Staten Island as well.
Yeah. And if you don't like Pete Davidson, give it a go and you'll find you love him by the end of it.
Yeah, hopefully you like him by the end of it. You'll definitely like Billy Burr.
Oh, yeah. Billy Big Boy.
Yeah.
Big Balls Burr.
Billy Big Balls Burr. Yeah.
And
yeah. Like and subscribe to Straight to Series.
Nice. Yeah. Nice drop
Check
there.
Us out. We're not finishing. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, if you like what you hear, like and subscribe.
Please,
we're on Spotify, we're on SoundCloud, and we're on YouTube.
And Instagram.
And we're pretty much everywhere that you can find a podcast.
Basically.
We're there.
If you want to go to Instagram, we have a link tree that was set up by Ian.
Bro.
He's very proud of his link tree.
Yeah.
And that'll give you a link to everything.
Everything.
We're most
social
active
media,
on Instagram.
Yeah.
And come and tell us what you think of these movies.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed them like we did.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk about Pete Davidson and The Five Bloods in comments with people because they're good movies.
And now you want to go into cruise control?
Now I want to shift into cruise control, baby.
Shift that boy into cruise control.
So unfortunately, we haven't been able to talk about Tom Cruise in a while.
And we've been dying to talk about Tom Cruise. Any day. Anytime.
I've watched Mission Impossible at least 4 times since the last time we spoke about Tom Cruise.
I recently walked in on you talking to colleagues about Tom Cruise. I was like, we talking about Tom Cruise.
Talk about Tom Cruise.
Let's hunker down. Let's do this.
Exactly.
And then I made everybody very uncomfortable.
Yes.
I was just beaming.
Yeah,
you were talking about Tom Cruise. We talking about his calves. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Talk about what shape he's in. We talk about what he was doing. We talking about like anything. I'll talk about anything about Tom Cruise. And then I if we shift to Rebecca Ferguson, it's the same. We'll only talk about her legs though.
Oh yeah. She's just a pair of legs to me.
Yeah, she's
so talented. And all I can see is her legs.
Yeah.
All I can see is her legs.
That's all I'm waiting for in every movie. I'm like, is she gonna get her legs out in this movie?
If they do an Onward live action version of it,
oh my god,
just get her legs.
Get her legs. Yeah, just have.
I could watch that all day.
Oh man. That movie would be heaven to me.
Subscribe.
Yeah. You know what's not heavenly though? Fat Vin Diesel. There's our one.
Oh, there it is.
There's our one per episode.
That was a 3-pointer right there. That was.
Yeah. But we'll go back to an actor we like. Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
He. Speaking of shooting the moon, Tom Cruise wants to put a movie in space.
And you mean get George Lucas in on it? We throw a few blue screens up there, and we
George Lucas on his big neck.
Yeah. We need a bigger room for his neck.
We'll do it on a big screen.
No, we don't mean that. No. We're talking about Tom Cruise here, bitch. He going to space.
He does his stone stunts, and if
he
that
stones
means
the stunts?
his stones to stunts, and if that means going to space, he's going to go to space. No, Tom Cruise wants to shoot a movie in space with Elon Musk.
And Elon Musk is going to back this. He's going to help him out with his SpaceX.
SpaceX. And my God, if Elon Musk can name his child a mathematic formula, he'll certainly shoot a movie in space.
So,
yeah,
I am so hyped for this. We just found out that, it was last week, Doug Liman has signed on to direct it. Now, Doug Liman has had a pretty amazing past when it comes to him and Tom Cruise.
What has he done with Tom Cruise, Ian?
Well, he's done everything with Tom Cruise. A little movie called Edge of Tomorrow.
Ah, yes.
With someone with Emily Blunt with triceps.
Oh man, if we could make like the perfect woman, it's like Emily Blunt's triceps, Rebecca Ferguson's legs.
I love how we're just like picking and choosing. Like I'll take anything.
I mean, I'll take the full body of either of those women, or
yeah.
most actresses. But yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Doug Liman is going to make this movie. He's going to direct it. So the last time he worked with him though was on American Made.
Yeah,
another fantastic Tom Cruise movie, and they're so different from Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
to American
Live, Die, Repeat as well.
Or for American audiences, it was called Edge of Tomorrow. For us,
a much better name. I'm sorry, Live, Die, Repeat is a terrible name.
And then I think the working title was for the sequel was Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat. I think it was
terrible. Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, Edge of Tomorrow or Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah, such an amazing action movie.
And American Made is like a quietly good Tom Cruise movie. Like it was well received, but
no one
really talks about it.
Put it this way, every once in a while I talk to someone and they go, I watched this amazing movie last night, and I'm like, oh, please tell me more.
Yeah.
And they go, it's this little movie called
Bloodshot. Fat Vin Diesel.
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe. No, thank you.
I've unsubscribed. Yeah, no, to be like, oh, I watched this movie called American Made.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it exists, and like, no one's seen it.
I know.
It made less than 150 million at the box office.
I watched it on Netflix and I loved it. I was like, this is great. Why didn't I watch this when it came out?
I seen it in the cinema because I'm a badass motherfucker who loves Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And I would lick the soles of his feet.
His broken
because
feet.
I'd probably live for an extra year just by doing that, because whatever he's doing,
100%.
it's working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Does he go to the same gym or the same medic as Paul Rudd?
Potentially. They've both made the same deal with the devil anyway.
They're both eating baby fetuses for
100%.
breakfast. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that Doug Liman is working on this with him.
He's the perfect like guy who has worked with Tom Cruise to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's either that or Christopher McQuarrie, but he's booked up with Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible's baby. Tom Cruise.
And we don't want to distract him from Mission Impossible work.
Tom Cruise and him are like, okay, we're gonna sign you on, and you're gonna do like the Mission Impossible movies with me. And he's like,
only 7 and 8.
Only 7 and 8.
You're gonna write and direct 7 and 8.
You only wanted to do 2 or even 1, but like, you know, we'll do 7 and 8 with you. Do you want to write them now? And it's like, nah, we'll just write them as we film them. That seems to work out every time anyway.
We'll make them as we go.
These movies that seem so well thought out and wonderful are just written on the fly.
I love when they're like, oh, we were just winging it. Like, but you made a masterpiece.
You made a masterpiece.
One of the best action movies of the last decade you made twice. And you were winging it?
You were winging it.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
That's the type of person who's like, you know what, I guess I'll take up skateboarding today. Yeah. And then they're amazing by the end of the week. And you're like, oh, I hate you. I had a friend of a friend that was like that. He was like, oh, don't tell me he's taking up guitar, but I can play guitar, and then he's so good at it. By the end of the week, I'm like, he's better than me at guitar. And then he did skateboarding, and he was better than me at skateboarding. Then he did piano lessons, and he was so good at piano lessons.
Oh, for God's
sake. I'm like, stop doing things.
Yeah, stop being good at everything. Yeah. It's like Donald Glover.
But now he's overweight, and he just doesn't try anymore. And I'm like, thank God. Thank God.
Nice.
Because if he does try, he'll be ripped and he'd be good at everything.
That's a happy ending right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The guy winning. Yeah, basically.
to use a Charlie Sheen phrase. Yeah, winning.
I'm better than that
remember
guy.
He was a thing?
Oh, I remember. I'm better than that guy because he stopped trying. That's the way I always like to win.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah, I stubborned him out of it. Yeah, basically. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, we've said it 5 times now. Tom Cruise is doing a movie in space. We're so excited.
He's doing it in space, in real space.
Like, is he going to hang on to the side of a shuttle as it breaks atmosphere?
Was he reading my mind? You know what I mean? Was he reading my mind? I'm like, Tom Cruise has done everything but gone to space.
But here's the thing, like, it's not even something that was in my mind. I was like, man, Tom Cruise to do more action movies. But when it's like Tom Cruise in space, it's like, that's exactly what I want.
I know. And by the way, let me just say this, and this is truly how I feel. I feel that Tom Cruise, and he is lost in this conversation. Yeah. He's the best action star of our generation.
I agree.
You know what? And I love Stallone. Mm-hmm. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. I loved Bruce Willis at some stage when he used to come to set awake.
Yeah.
And I know The Rock now is that kind of guy, Jason Statham, but they're all the back of the bus when it comes to Tom Cruise. Yeah. I actually think, and no one really talks about him in that sort of way.
No.
And sometimes I'd like to believe, just to pat myself on the back, that he's so above the rest of them that he's just not thrown in to that category. But if you look at his work, his body of work over the last 2 decades, he makes the most interesting but yet blockbuster action movies.
Totally.
The last 4 Mission Impossibles are like the most consistent action sequels of the last decade.
They're amazing. They really are.
From 3 onwards.
Yeah.
And how did he just keep getting better?
Yeah.
He's got no more ankles to break, by the way. Like, he's a crazy man.
That was just one day where he only ate half the fetus for breakfast.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all of a sudden he was weak.
Yeah, well, really, when
bring me back to my chamber. He's dragging his ankle and everything.
Oh my God, the man's a hero. I love Tom Cruise. And I know he's supposed to be like a psychopath when he's not making movies. Actually, he's a psychopath when he's making movies too, clearly.
Yeah.
Send me to space. Even the worst movie he's made in the last while was The Mummy. And yet his biggest contribution to that movie was like, oh, you want me to make The Mummy? Well, I want to make this anti-gravity plane crashing scene.
And I want my character to have a bigger role in it.
And do you know what the thing I hate about that movie is? Why did not keep that for Mission Impossible?
I know, yeah.
Clearly that was an action scene that he was going to put in one of the Mission Impossibles.
I know.
One of the many Mission Impossibles.
I bet that Halo jump originally started like that in Fallout.
Stop it. You're making me hard.
Even though that scene is already like It's
out of this world.
Insanely impressive.
It's out of this world.
Henry Cavill, real Henry Cavill sabotages, or is it actually real Henry Cavill?
No, but it's real
not.
Tom Cruise.
It's real Tom Cruise. No, Henry Cavill sabotages.
They couldn't insure his mustache.
They couldn't insure his fucking size, the size of him. They also thought if he hit the Earth, it would be another asteroid would break apart. Yeah, a tsunami with all the women. Seeing Henry Cavill.
Waves crashing in their pants.
I'd love to know. I actually haven't polled women. It's a strange phrase.
I poll women all night long.
Hell yeah, man! When I say, "Do you want to take a dive on this D?" What did I say at the beginning? What was the thing I said?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
My D and your V.
Yeah,
and then they don't text back.
And then they never text back. Yeah.
What a bitch!
And I said it.
That's the natural reaction.
And I said it to them in person, which is what's weird that they don't text back.
Isn't that what you do? Is you look them intensely in the eyes.
Yeah. Do you want a D in your V?
D in your V.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, my name's Ian.
Yeah.
That comes afterwards.
I say my name is Ian as well.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Shit, damn it, fuck, messed it up, and then I blow a whistle and we reset and we figure out what I did wrong.
No, they blow a rape whistle.
Yeah, they do.
They fucking run.
What it is do you want?
I keep getting pepper sprayed. What's wrong with these bitches?
What's wrong with these people? Yeah, it's like, do you want a D in your V? But I'm in a club, and so I was like, do you want a D in your V?
And you get pepper sprayed. It's like, I was trying so hard.
Oh, I'm going to the bar to drink myself to death.
Tom Cruise.
He probably doesn't drink. Yeah, but
unless he's blending baby fetuses for his longevity.
I love we've established that in Hollywood, baby fetuses is the way to stay young.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I think that was South Park that helped me with that one.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what Christopher Reeves.
Oh.
He's eating like baby fetuses to walk again. Like it's a pretty controversial episode because it's a South Park episode.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves.
That's where my movie logic is coming from.
Yeah, I understand.
It's coming from pop culture, so.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even remember what point I was trying to make. I got distracted by.
Well, I know. I was saying though, the Mummy. I wish he kept that scene for Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But like that one major artistic or creative contribution that he made was like the best scene of the entire movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you just if you bought the Mummy, just watch that scene. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the sex scene with your one. I always forget her name. Blade Legs.
Yeah. Oh, Giselle, or her character's name is Giselle, and Sophia Buccelli.
Botella or Buccelli.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're usually better
Sophia
at names
Buccelli.
than me.
Yeah, she used to go out with Robert Sheehan.
Did she?
Yeah, I've told you that before. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
What a man.
I know.
A leash boy.
Robert Sheehan is like he's got the Mick Jagger body.
He's a tall glass of milk.
He is, but he's so lithe and like really like he does the androgyny thing a little bit as well.
Well, especially in the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, they play it up obviously in the Umbrella Academy.
But he's got too much charisma. I'm like, can I get a splash?
Can
of
other
that?
people have?
Can I get a splash of charisma for myself, please? I need it. I need it. Because the D in the V is not working.
It's not working.
That line's not working.
No, it isn't. And my eyes can only take so much more. I never had to wear glasses before I started talking to women. Now
I'm immune to pepper spray.
Yeah.
It's just spray.
They don't even work. Like, I'm actually legally blind. These are just like, they've no lenses in them. I just wear them because people think he must just have bad eyesight.
But Tom Cruise is going to space, and I'm in love with this idea.
Yeah.
I'm in love with this idea, and I hope the Budweiser virus fucks off, and he needs to make 2 Mission Impossibles, and it's supposedly returning in September for filming.
Yes.
That's what Simon Pegg said, that they're aiming to return to filming in September, but they have 2 movies to make.
Yeah, I know they have 2 movies to make, and I hope Benji beats someone up in one of these movies. We've said this before.
I love him. I love him. Will we move on? I know. I just had to stop myself from talking about Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I need to put away my boner and move on.
Yeah.
Will we talk about Tenet?
Yeah, let's talk about Tenet.
Because we talked about Tenet all last week.
Yeah,
we were building it up, saying all this pressure is on Tenet's shoulders.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the savior of cinema? And Christopher Nolan is like, yeah. And Christopher Nolan, as we kept saying, savior of cinema. He's just looking at the headlines. Oh my god,
yeah, baby.
That's under Space Force, you know.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, failure to launch or whatever we were saying.
So it came down to a Mexican standoff. Chris Nolan, he's holding the guns up. He's saying, "You're not moving the release date." And then Warner Brothers are like, "We can't release it legally.
205 million we spent on this, Christopher.
Please, Chris, don't make me do this."
And then some genius in the back was like, "How about it's the 10th anniversary of Inception?
And then all of a sudden,
how about we release Inception on the same day instead?"
All of a sudden, there was silence, and a tumbleweed rolled through, and Chris Nolan turned and he went, "What did you just say?"
Move. What was it? Tenet back 2 weeks, but release Inception on the 17th of July when Tenet was supposed to be there
as an anniversary,
as a way to pat me on the back and jack me off at the same time.
Interesting.
And Warner Brothers like, please don't go to any other studio.
Please
don't go, because he's been in the Warner Brothers business for so long now.
Yeah.
All the Batman movies,
Totally.
and Inception, Interstellar, and now Tenet.
Especially
and they're just like, Christopher, you know what? And you know Netflix is on the door.
I was just about to say,
how much you want?
There's
making it rain.
There's a guy in a pimp.
We got women. We got cocaine. We got money.
There's a guy in a pimp outfit sitting in the corner, and Warner Brothers are like clutching at Christopher Nolan's coat, and then he's like, you know, Chris, you come over to us. We'll let the movie be as long as you want. We'll let you release it whenever you want.
Whenever you want. Whenever.
Yeah. But you know what? Christopher Nolan would be the guy, like, I'll never release something on streaming because I love movies.
He is. He's a purist.
He is.
He's a purist.
Yeah.
But he is the guy that would like, I know, yeah, you're so right. You're so right. He never wants to see his movie on that small screen.
Yeah.
And even Scorsese was that guy. Mm-hmm. You know, but...
Until they said you can make a 4-hour movie. And he's like, only 3.5 hours. I'm not a savage.
Yeah, and I only need 165 million.
But, so a genius.
That's a great point. That he's an absolute purist. In fact, if you ever watch the side-by-side documentary, and it's digital versus film, made by the one and only Keanu Reeves, in it he talks to Christopher Nolan, and they talk about, you know, film versus digital.
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan, the analogy that he uses, he goes, at one time, I can't do his accent, he's an Englishman anyway, he was saying that at one time I used to buy these cookies from the shop, and they were so warm, well, not warm, but they were like gooey and soft, like they just came fresh out of the oven. But then you read the back of the package, and it's all just these chemicals that were emulating that taste, but it was fake. And he's like, that's how I look at digital versus film. And I was like,
damn,
whoa. And at the same time, I'm like, David Fincher's my favorite filmmaker, and he made a Social Network on digital, so shut the fuck up. But at the same time, I'm like, but you're Christopher Nolan, so I'll get down on my knees and suck your dick if I have to.
Totally. If you have to.
If I have to.
Even if you don't have to, sometimes.
Give me one of those cookies, by the way. You actually sold me on that.
Yeah.
Those chemicals sound great.
My mouth is moist.
Yeah.
Want some cookies, baby. But yeah.
But that's how he... So just to back up your point, he is an absolute cinema purist.
I love it. I could actually hear his voice when you were saying that. He gave me goosebumps with that story.
Yeah.
It's good. But so basically, I think we've been doing skits and bits when we kind of hinted at what the news was. But basically, Tenet has been pushed back 2 weeks.
2 weeks from... It was the 17th of July,
Yeah.
and it was too risky. It was too risky. 205 million budget on this original movie. This is an unknown commodity.
Totally. So the compromise is that for the 10-year anniversary of Inception, we're going to re-release that
on the date,
and then 2 weeks later, Tenet's going to come out.
And
you know what? It is a genius move, because say they weren't going to get people to the cinema for Tenet, now people will slowly come back, see Inception, get excited about Christopher Nolan, and then go see Tenet 2 weeks later.
It's perfect. It's actually perfect, and it's also a litmus test. If no one shows up,
boom, Tenet goes all the way back.
We're throwing it back a year.
Yeah.
We're throwing it back a year. 205 million.
Yeah.
Fuck that. We're going back a year. And I think Warner Brothers, as much as I want to see this movie, just to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
I need answers.
I need to know.
Goddamn answers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, I understand.
Yeah.
And you got to commend Warner Brothers. I know it's Christopher Nolan. The guy performs all the time. He's so consistent. But at the same time, you got to commend Warner Brothers for saying,
putting the foot
here's
down.
205 million. No, like to actually endorse and allow a movie, an original movie, that massive budget. Because no other studios are doing that right now, except for maybe Netflix.
Yeah. And Chris Nolan will never go there.
Yeah.
So. But
I'm glad you made that point, though.
I know,
he wouldn't. He actually wouldn't go to a streaming service. That's a really good and obvious point that I was not even thinking of.
I wasn't even thinking.
But see, you're like, but he is the guy that will hold fast. Where, you know, the money, the check gets bigger and bigger, and you know that some people will fall for that.
Martin Scorsese.
And David Fincher. David Fincher's next movie, Mank, and he is my favorite filmmaker of all time.
Yeah.
His next movie, Mank, is coming out. Actually, this is news as well. They're saying that it possibly will be October this year on Netflix.
Oh, wow.
And he is my all-time favorite filmmaker, and he's in the Netflix business now, and he also made Mindhunter.
Yeah.
which is one of the best TV series I've ever watched.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've most of the way through season 2.
They won't even officially cancel it.
Yeah.
They're like, you come back, Chris, or Dave, Davey boy, you come back whenever you want.
I love that.
It's waiting for you. Like these actors don't have real lives.
They're like, this TV series is
You're
so
on hold
good.
forever.
You're on hold forever.
I know that their contracts ran out, but like you know they jump back as well.
Totally.
Probably the best stuff that they've ever been in.
Why fucking wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so that's the news. Also, Wonder Woman was pushed back as well to October. But Gal
August.
Gal Gadot said it's worth the wait, and I just said, you're worth the wait. That was my...
She is, but goddammit, keep her off social media.
Oh yeah, Jesus, Gal.
You seen what happened when she did what was it? Imagine all the people. Like, stop. And now that there's another...
That one's even worse. Let's not get into... Yeah, let's not get into that. That's way too political for this thing.
It's way too political for my mind.
Yeah, but anyway... Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Straight to Series.
Yeah, and I had a blast.
Me too.
And I'm glad we could watch 2 fantastic movies that we fully endorse.
We do. We fully endorse them. And we actually really want you to watch them both. We not only endorse them, but we want you to watch them. Also,
Pete Davidson has a cameo in The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And as I said before at the start of this podcast, I wasn't on his side. Mm-hmm. Now I cannot wait to see what he's like.
I know.
In James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Oh, he's going to... I can't wait.
So if that's another way of promoting that movie is like, hey, I think you'll enjoy his cameo in The Suicide Squad.
Is he going to be
even more?
Yeah, is he going to be in the air cut of The Suicide Squad that's coming out, or
the what?
Yeah, exactly. Hunk and Skunk. To quickly move on.
We never did Hunk and Skunk.
We never discussed it.
I think Monologue Man.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's get the actor's name up again. Sadly, I've forgotten him. His character's name's Paul. It's so easy to remember.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's so simple as well.
But Delroy Lindo.
He is doing some serious heavy lifting. Like, the material's great and all.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, does he pop? There's so many moments that I think will just become a GIF.
Yeah. So recently, funny enough...
it is GIF, not GIF.
No.
I always hear people...
The original creator of it says it's GIF, but the internet says, no, it's GIF. You're an idiot.
Okay, well,
there you go.
I bow down to the internet.
Oh, always bow to the internet, baby. That's just where it is.
Are we cancelled yet?
We came close. We came so close, I'd say, but we may have tiptoed around it.
I'm a sentence away. I'm a word away.
I've noticed, by the way, on this thing, I've been saying baby a lot. I said it a lot in the last episode.
You have been saying it, and then I started saying it.
Yeah.
Because I do like the sound of it, though.
I do like the sound of it, too. It just...
Da-da-da-da, baby.
Yeah, but I feel like if I try and use it anywhere outside this podcast, it won't go well. It'll be like put my D in your V thing. Yeah, baby.
All that sentence was missing was baby.
Baby,
and it's like hook, line,
and for me to be
sinker.
Attractive and, charming or anything like that.
Nah, man, that's overrated. That's overrated. Take it from a guy who's all of those things.
Exactly. Speaking from your mountain. Yeah. Thank you for coming down, master. But anyway, I wanted to say about Delroy Lindo, it was funny for me because his monologue in it is so amazing that he does. But I recently saw someone I know put up a monologue, a sort of one-person play that they did, and it's someone who thinks they're an actor that I know in real life, and from the moment it starts, they're acting, when they're talking about something and they're acting, thinking about it, whereas in this, I'm watching him, and he's acting.
He is acting.
Putting it all on screen, but I'm like, I don't care. This is awesome. But it was just funny.
That's how it's done.
It's funny.
That's a workshop. That scene is a workshop. Like he could do seminars on how to act in that scene. This guy is going to be. I think he's going to get so many roles out of this, and he's 67.
I know,
which is so weird.
Yeah, I hope he wins the Oscar for it. Is it?
It's hard to say.
It's tough to say for this year.
It's still early on. Well, it's mid. It's early on in movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, like schedule because nothing's come out.
But it's not even for that. I want to know what his acceptance speech would be. I feel like it'll be something really good,
Oh yeah, I say it'd be impactful and political.
That's what I think so. But I'd be excited to see that. But that's just me speculating and projecting.
If he did it in the same kind of way, same sort of intensity, especially when
the camera pushed in,
and when the hint of flavor and sass at one moment where he's like, it's so good.
Anyway, Delroy Lindo gets Hunk of the Week.
Who gets Skunk? Because we've been so positive.
Yeah.
And we can't give it to Vin Diesel.
No.
It's too easy.
It's too easy.
Too large of a target. And
look
easy
at
of a target.
Yeah, there you go. This is great. Let's give it to the movie This Is 40.
I'm cool with that. I'm so cool with that.
Because that King of Staten Island review had a little This is 40 fucking review inside it.
I'm unsure if I've ever stopped watching that movie. You know that way?
You will when you're 40.
It's like a Get Out sequel.
Yeah, this is 40 years long. That's what it should be
Exactly.
called. Right. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe if you like what you've heard.
Yeah.
And you can catch us on all social media, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah. Sorry,
we're all
that's
over
my
it.
butt plug.
Yeah. Because it comes at the end and it's a plug for our show.
Yeah, I've just done that twice now. Baby. Yeah, so Tom Cruise is a masterful man. And I love you, Tom.
Love you, Tom.
We will catch you next week.
Love you, Tom.
And we don't know what we're going to watch. We definitely will review Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will be like the main thing of the podcast.
Probably
because
not.
who needs that?
No one wants that in their
Yeah.
lives. After we've had such a positive, fun episode, that I hope it translates as well, that I really don't want to get bogged down with Artemis Fowl next week.
No, but I do want to talk about it. I do want to talk about it. I hate that we've already decided that it's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, but...
It is terrible.
It's 90 minutes long, so I don't mind dipping in and out of that.
No, totally.
Because I feel like just watching an entire movie is just dipping into it, especially after watching 2.5 hours of that Five Bloods and 2 hours and 15 minutes of The King of Staten Island. It shows how obsessed I am with runtime now. That's fucking James Bond.
It's James Bond. James Bond has ruined me because I look at a movie's runtime all the fucking time.
I know.
I'm consistently like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit.
It's made me so aware of movies just going for runtime because of James Bond.
And yet the Five Bloods is 2 hours and I think 35 minutes long. It doesn't feel like it. Actually, well, for me, it didn't.
No.
I actually loved it. I was so entertained.
Yeah.
We should finish this.
But this is our third time trying to finish it, but third time is the charm.
Catch you next week, baby.
Baby. I gotta stop. That's gotta end.
I got something this now. It's my new thing.
Baby.